Welcome everybody to Blood on the Mic, the show where we bring you all things music. Today, we are going through the new music episode where we talk to you guys about some new songs that have been coming out recently. And today is July 17th, so at least when we're recording this. And so we are going to be talking about music that's been coming out in early July, especially closing into the middle of the month. Yeah, we got our microphone set up and we're ready to go. All the recording.
Me. This is our second attempt because my microphone wasn't correctly. It wasn't recording correctly. So this is our second attempt.
Right.
And just checked, and it's recording. So
it is recording. I'm sorry you guys missed out on our banter about the cats. They're doing okay. They're upstairs.
We have two cats, and they're fine.
They're fine. But we might as well just go straight into the songs. We're going to be covering 6 songs today. Six songs today. And the first one we're going to cover is from a band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Australia's very own.
Australia's very own. Australia's been having this raving psychedelic rock outburst. Many of you might be more familiar with Tame Impala, but I'll have you know that King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard has way more albums than Tame Impala.
Yeah.
Despite coming into the scene later. A few years ago, they released 5 albums in 1 year. So, kind of tells you how much.
Pretty prolific, yeah.
Yeah, they crank out a lot of music. But this latest release from them is a song called Honey. And, we're going to see exactly, what kind of sound it has, because they've gone through a lot of different styles, from more heavy, almost heavy metal sounding, to more bayou sounding tunes, psychedelic, of course. But, we're going to see exactly what this is like. So, give us, a little bit of a moment, and then we're going to come back to you with our thoughts on the Honey from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Yep, we're going to pretend to listen.
Okay, and we're back. That was, we were just listening to Honey from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was really cool. It had a cool blend of psychedelic music, but it also had kind of a rootsy, rustic feel to it. I think it's just because I'm pretty sure it was acoustic guitar that was doing that main riff. At least it sounded like it.
I think it was a guitar. It had a little bit of a slight sitar kind of quality to it. I don't know. It sounded a little bit when rock meets Indian music or Indian music. Sometimes called rock. I don't know who's into that term, but
so when white people go to India and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm spiritual now."
Yeah,
it's basically when what's his name, George Harrison.
Yeah, it's like when they're hanging out with Rajneesh. Yeah, Rajneesh. That's the if you guys have watched the documentary in the
Wild
Oregon
Country.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Yeah. But George Harrison just turned Indian. He went to
essentially
he went to India and he's just I'm Indian now. This is what I'm literally.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. And
he kept that throughout the rest of his life.
Yeah, he did. He was all about it, and some people are like that. Some people, their culture is adopted, and that's.
Some people don't like their culture and they want to take somebody else's.
Yeah, there's space. There's room.
We can fit some white people.
We can fit some white people in there, yeah. But I like this song. I was thinking it kind of reminded me a little bit of the flying microtonal banana experiments that they had. It's an album where they were exploring the tones between the tones, so tones that are not exactly what we call normal or traditional in Western music.
Microtone, so a tone that would be between F and F sharp, I guess. It's not really a note that you can reach normally. You'd have to tune your guitar differently, basically, or tune whatever instrument you're playing differently in order to reach these microtones. There's actually guitars. I don't know if you've seen these before, because, I play, guitar and instruments and shit. So, there's these videos online that you can find, microtonal instruments, microtonal guitars. And, a regular guitar has, just the frets spaced out.
Yeah.
But this is weird. It's a guitar that has, frets all over the place, in between notes and shit. It's really weird. Huh. Watching these people play it. I don't know if they used I don't know if they did use one of those guitars to record that album.
Maybe. Something else they could have possibly done is, kind of like a fretless bass, but a fretless guitar.
Yeah, that's true.
Just, for whatever position it is that you want to be at. But I forget exactly how they did it. But anyways, this has like that quality. I was thinking it kind of makes me feel like I'm in the middle of like a blob of honey, just like rolling down the side of a jar or something.
I could see that.
Yeah. But it's got a nice easy groove going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about this song?
It's good.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. So I mean, they have a deep discography, but I think it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I always mean to like listen to them, but then I'm like, I don't know where to start, and then I don't.
Yeah, right. It could be a little overwhelming. You need
one of those. Imagine like 10 years from now. Like,
oh my God. Unless they break up. I mean, that's another thing. But like you definitely need like a chart to like tell you like, what kind of sounds it is that you're going.
Because not only do they have a lot, they're all different. So.
Right. Exactly. All right, we're going to move on to the second song that we're going to talk about today. This one is probably going to be completely different. It's from Open Mike Eagle. Could you tell us about Open Mike?
So Open Mike Eagle is indie rapper, art rapper, underground rapper. Been in the scene for a long time now. I think like around the mid 2000s, maybe very early 2010s, around there is when he started.
Yeah, I remember hearing his name from back then, yeah.
And he gained more notoriety with his album Dark Comedy. That kind of like shot him kind of big in the underground indie scene. And then just from there, he's been making great album after great album. His last album, Brick Body Complex, was amazing. I loved it. I mean, I love Open Mike Eagle. He's one of my favorite rappers out right now. He's really, just really artistic, really creative. He takes a lot of cues from like indie rock, actually, like 90s alternative and indie rock.
Okay.
He says one of his favorite bands is They Might Be Giants. And
like, I kind of love that,
Yeah.
It's not a band that most people...
and like he takes a lot of influence from them.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and now I have some They Might Be Giants stuck in my head. Particle Man. Hey, this song that's coming out, the latest release is called Neighborhood Protection Spell. And it says here Lana Del Biden.
Lana Del Biden?
Who's that?
I don't know. Maybe a play on Lana Del Rey and Joe Biden.
And then what's the name at the end?
I don't fucking know.
Maybe the song will let us know. But we're going to take a break. We're going to listen to the song from Open Mike Eagle, Neighborhood Protection Spell, and get back to you in a second. All right, so we just finished listening to Open Mike Eagle's Neighborhood Protection Spell. And then in parentheses, it has Lana Del Biden them. And that was not cleared up for me in the song. Did you get?
I have no. Look, no. I don't know.
No, we don't know.
That he has his own reasonings for that. I don't know what they are.
Sure. And I guess I'll start because I'm not too familiar with Open Mike Eagle myself. The song was alright. I enjoyed the beat on it. I thought that his flow was good. I was a little bit. It didn't sound to me like a single necessarily though. Like it just sounded like a good album cut.
Yeah. I don't know what that song, like if that's like a single for a new album he's coming out with, or if that's just some song that he recorded that he wanted to release,
like a one-off or something.
Yeah, it might be a one-off because I haven't heard of like if he's coming out with an album soon or anything.
Right.
So it might just be something he recorded that he's like, I want to release it.
Yeah. I mean, that could happen and whatnot.
Yeah. But, I mean, I loved it. I love Open Mike Eagle, but also, like, the beat's pretty simple. It's kind of just, like, airy, atmospheric type thing with pretty simple drums and not much to it, but I think it really works well, and he really raps over the beat well. He has a really good flow, and, like, he's kind of half singing, which is kind of what Open Mike Eagle does, especially recently. He's been incorporating a lot more like melody and stuff into his flow and a lot more singing kind of flows.
Yeah, it did have a lot more singing, but I mean that's kind of like.
I mean, every rapper does that now. That's not uncommon.
Nowadays it seems pretty common. So, but yeah, I mean maybe for
but he
him,
does, but
it's a little different maybe.
Well, I think it's different for him just because he does it in like more of like an indie kind of like an indie rock, indie pop kind of context. He does it more, whereas like mainstream rappers will do more like R&B type singing or something like that, where he approaches it more through like the indie route, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, cool. I mean, I thought I didn't have anything to say.
I wish I could say more about the lyrics because I didn't like.
Right, I was trying to listen to it, but I guess if anything, I was just kind of just vibing on the.
Yeah, it's more of a vibey track, and for that, I mean, I think it works really well, and you know, I can't really say much more. It's a nice track. I hope he's coming out with something soon because I love Open Mike Eagle. I look forward to any release that he comes out with.
Yeah.
But he's actually doing like TV shows and shit now. Like he had a TV show on Comedy Central for a bit.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what else he's doing, but
is he a funny guy?
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny for like a musician. He's not.
Yeah. I mean, like
he has a podcast.
Is he funny like Action Bronson? You know, like that.
It's a different type of comedy. But yeah, he's like a personality as well. You know.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So that was the Open Mike Eagle song. We're gonna move on here to the next track. This next track is from a band called Protomartyr. And
pronouncing everything with an accent today.
Yeah, I mean, I've always found it to be a hard name to pronounce. There's too many T's in there.
Protomartyr.
And you know, I really want to.
You have a problem pronouncing T's?
Well, I have like the. I get the urge to pronounce it like a hard T. You know, like Protomartyr.
But then you have to roll the R too.
Protomartyr. I can't roll the R's. But they are from they're from Detroit.
Oh shit! Detroit. My wife's from Michigan.
Wow, and Danny Brown's from Michigan.
From Detroit.
Yeah.
So we're just naming people from Michigan.
We are just naming people
Eminem's from Michigan. Madonna's from Michigan. Kid Rock's from Michigan. I'll keep going.
The entirety of Motown is from Michigan.
I had a boss once that was from Michigan in one of my jobs.
But most importantly today, Protomartyr is from Michigan. And this is their latest song. It's called Processed by the Boys. Processed by the Boys. I think it's from their latest album. I think called it that same name.
So you'd say they're like...
no, hold on. That's not what their name of the album is. Ultimate Success Today is the name of the album.
Yeah, Protomartyr is like, what would you say, like post-punk kind of?
Yeah, they definitely started off a lot like, you know, post-punk. A lot of like some of my favorite bands in the last few years have had post-punk roots.
Yeah.
And then they've kind of spread out from there. And Protomartyr has definitely taken a harder edge to their music as the years have gone on.
Which I love.
Yeah.
I mean, Protomartyr also is just like King Gizzard is another one that I've heard songs from them and stuff, and I've liked them, but for some reason I haven't listened to their shit. I mean, for King Gizzard, it's because there's so much of it.
Right.
For Protomartyr, maybe just never, like, I've always liked the songs I've listened to, but it never really made me want to, like, listen to all their shit. So hopefully this song will make me want to do that.
Yeah. I will say something around similar lines, but yeah, let's take a break. We'll listen to that. We'll be right back. All right, we just finished listening to Protomartyr's Processed by the Boys. That's off of their latest release. They just had a new album coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I liked it.
You liked it?
Some cool post-punk stuff. I like the guitar tone, and that's like a specific tone that like I hear in a lot of post-punk. I don't know, or maybe a specific type of post-punk, but it kind of like has reverb in it, but it still kind of sounds like sharp, if that makes sense.
I get you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It definitely sounded like Detroit, if that makes any sense.
In what way?
Detroit is always known for having a lot of like, not like they have a lot of more aggressive sounds.
In rock,
at least, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the Stooges were not from Detroit, but from Michigan, so
right. But even like in electronic music, like
Detroit techno,
like Detroit techno tends to be a lot more pronounced, less. It's still danceable, but it's less. It's less. I don't know if spiritual is the right word. It's very like machine-like, you know.
Yeah.
It's and repetition is definitely a thing in Detroit as well.
And this song was pretty repetitive. It had a pretty like kind of pummeling rhythm to it, kind of like
right, like the pistons of
yeah.
an engine driving the song.
But I liked it. It was cool. There was a I love the saxophone bits that come in.
Was that a saxophone or was that a clarinet? I wasn't. I mean, it could have been a saxophone.
I don't know, some kind of horn. My first thought was saxophone, but it could be clarinet. I have no idea.
It was definitely a woodwind of the sort.
But yeah, I thought that really added like an atmosphere to the track, having that kind of weird saxophone.
I did like that. Yeah, I like that, and I mean, I thought the groove was good. I did find that maybe a little bit too long, like repetitive it was.
But it might work in the album. I don't know.
Right.
And also the vocals kind of sounded like Idols to me. I mean, they're around the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like,
I don't know if there's a scene, but like, yeah, that would definitely put them in the same boat as like Idols.
Yeah, they kind of sound like Idols a little. At least certain types, like certain songs that Idols does, because not every song they do sounds like this. But there's a sound that Idols also does sometimes.
Right.
So, but I'm not gonna say they're like stealing from them or anything. I mean,
no.
They're like, probably listen to each other's music and shit.
At some point, it reminded me of Swans a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like if they extended it out to 30 minutes.
Yeah. And before he loses his mind, or cool. But that was a solid track. Yeah, solid track from Protomartyr, if you're into that more pummeling kind of.
If you're into that harder rock kind of post-punk thing, more aggressive, give him a chance.
It's a good time for that, yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to a song. This one's from Joey Badass with a little money sign, and
Joey Badass, New York rapper. We got big in like early 2010s with the whole pro era thing. There was like
he was part of like the dollar sign gang.
Like, dollar sign gang,
like with like ASAP, everybody else. No,
ASAP Mob.
It was like a bunch of people who had like the dollar signs.
Are you thinking of ASAP Mob?
Yeah, I was thinking of like ASAP Mob and ASAP Rocky, ASAP like.
Yeah, he's not part of. I mean, they're both from New York, but
right. But
so that's a different thing. So ASAP Rocky was kind of taking like cloud rap and like kind of like being inspired by like Houston rap and shit and like chopped and screwed music and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where Joey Badass was kind of like bringing back like traditional boom bap 90s hip hop.
Okay.
And kind of doing that shit. Because I mean, I don't know if you remember. I mean, I don't think you're as big of a rap fan as I am, but like in the early 2010s and shit, and like the late 2000s, New York was dead. Like as far as hip hop, nobody gave a shit about New York anymore. Like they didn't have much.
And, I don't know. Jay-Z still cared about New York.
Yeah, but Jay-Z was like, old school. Like there was no like up and coming artists, like really exciting people coming from New York at the time.
No, it was mostly just Atlanta at the
that's when the South was really...
I would say even like late 2000s, hip hop in general was not in a good spot.
No, and the ones that was like really big was like Southern rap, like Atlanta mostly.
Yeah.
So that's when trap music was like kind of starting.
Yeah, like T.I. was like still pretty big, and
Young Jeezy and stuff, and so
Lil Wayne was still around.
Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper in the world at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
But so New York was kind of quiet, and then in the early 2010s, Joey Badass, the whole pro era thing, because there was more rappers in that. Capital C's was one of them, and he committed suicide soon after that. So it was kind of just Joey Badass and a few other people. But then also, ASAP Mob was huge for New York as well. And then some other people, Action Bronson was coming up at the same time. That's Racist was from New York. They were doing shit too. They weren't really, but...
That's Racist.
I love That's Racist.
They were on the cover of some magazine back in the day. I thought they were going to like blow up, but they kind of peaked at that point.
Yeah. I was a huge fan of That's Racist. Yeah. But yeah, New York, that's when Joey Badass started popping, like the early 2010s, when kind of helped bring back New York as a scene.
Right.
And since then, he's released a couple albums, but he's kind of been quiet for a while, for a few years now. This is the first thing he's released in a while. So You know?
Yeah, we picked out a track. He dropped 3 tracks. We picked out one with Pusha T. I do like Pusha T myself.
I do too.
And so this next song is called No Explanation, and that's about as much as we're gonna explain about it. And we're back. We were just listening to Joey Badass with the $signs, featuring Pusha T, and that was a track called No Explanation. I'm gonna try to give you an explanation for it. It kind of reminds me of like a late '90s, early 2000s conscious hip hop kind of track.
Yeah, that's kind of what Joey Badass. It's usually what he does.
Okay.
I mean, it's usually the sound he goes for. I'm not a huge Joey Badass fan.
Is this like the standard for him?
From what I've heard, like this, he usually does stuff that kind of sounds like this. This actually sounds more like reserved and like contemplative.
Yeah.
You know, and I like the beat on here. It's kind of it's got like
a little a piano.
Yeah, it's like a jazzy kind of piano sample. It's not much to it, but I like it. It works well, and I don't know. It's fine. I'm not a huge fan of it.
Right. Yeah, it was fine. I mean, they delivered lines. Yeah,
we're the worst at this.
Yeah, there was nothing like I don't think there was anything really outstanding or anything.
Nothing stood out to me really.
There wasn't anything bad about it either. It was just like
it was cool. It was
I would put it also under the category of like solid album track. Yeah. Don't know if I would call this a solid single though.
But I don't know if it really was a single because it's like a 3-song kind of I guess EP or something that he dropped. So. We just picked the one with Pusha T on it because we wanted to hear it.
Well, it was the one that like I think attracted me a little bit more. But I always like listening to Pusha T. He was there.
I love Pusha T. I love Pusha T because he has such a specific like flow and like a very unique sound to the way that he raps. There's not really any other rappers except for his brother who really like raps like him.
Yeah, maybe it's that Virginia vibe or whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah. Not too many rappers from Virginia.
It's like a Virginia scene.
Yeah, it's not Atlanta though.
Well, no,
it's not New York. It's Virginia.
There's a lot of big people came from Virginia. Pharrell's from Virginia. I think Missy Elliott's from Virginia.
Missy Elliott's from Virginia, but they're mostly known for like production and like having like a very particular style. But
Virginia's known for like kind of stranger sounds, and, like different stuff.
Yeah. All right, cool, but
I don't know. There's not much to say on this track, at least for me. Like, kind of that, and that's kind of how I felt about. That's kind of how I've always felt about Joey Badass. Like, even at the time when Joey Badass was coming up in like the early 2010s,
right?
I never felt much for him because he kind of just felt like he was good at rapping. It's just that his sound never really appealed that much to me. Like, I like a lot of 90s rap, but in general, like. I'm not a huge fan of 90s rap because it's kind of...
What? Just generally?
Just like, if you... 90s rap...
You seem to bring 90s Wu-Tang rap, Clan all the time.
But. Wu-Tang Clan is fucking... Okay, but they're an exception. I'm saying... No, look, what I'm saying... 90s rap is too much of a generalization because that's the whole fucking decade with encompassing the entire world.
It's such an important decade.
But I was thinking specifically New York 90s rap is, to me, a little bit like... They are the best. They were the best thing to come out of New York.
Wait, you're not a fan of Nas or like?
Yeah, but you're naming the best ones. You're naming the best shit.
Like, you know,
I love Tribe Called Quest, Nas, Wu-Tang, fucking all that shit. But I don't know. I think it's like oversold. At least by like hip hop heads on the internet and shit. They're like, oh my god, the golden age of rap. It's like New York. For a lot of it was like shitty beats. And just like people rapping about shit, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear all that shit.
I'm dying to know what he wants to listen to, but
just that whole like 90s New York shit. Unless it's like the peak of it, like Wu-Tang or Nas or whatever. Like I even think a lot of Biggie shit. I love Biggie, but like a lot of his songs I hate. I don't know.
Okay. These are opinions from my co-host Luis Torna.
Well, I'm the one with the fucking hot takes today. You're the one. Takes.
I don't know. The New York rap is fine. I mean, I have nothing against it. Sometimes I'd rather pass it up because it's just run of the mill. But like for somebody who's listening to rap all day, I feel like that's a solid.
At least in the 90s,
place to grab
I think in the New York in the 90s was, I think, too focused on like the lyrics, and they didn't really give too in general. I mean, there's exceptions, but like they didn't really give too much of a shit about the beats, and a lot of the beats just started to sound the same. And
I can get what you're saying from there. Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's exactly like what some people I think go for. Some people are really
people love. Yeah, they just want to hear the lyrics. But I'm like, just listening to music in general, the lyrics aren't really the first thing that pull me. Like I'll have to like the music, and then.
No, I mean I agree with that as well. But yeah, I'm not here shitting on New York.
I'll shit on New York. I was born there. I can shit there.
He got a ticket there too.
I did. Coming up here from Florida.
All right, we'll just keep this for another day. We're gonna move on to a couple more tracks that we got here. This next one is from we're just playing people who've been around for a little bit now.
Yeah, Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe Fiasco over here.
I was a huge fan of Lupe Fiasco when I was a kid.
This is a song featuring Virgil Abloh.
Which is weird because Virgil Abloh is like. He's like a fashion designer.
Oh.
He works for... He's like the fashion... He's like the head of some fucking fashion brand. I don't know. It's like
Lupe always did strike me as like a more fashion conscious kind of person.
Yeah. But he's a more conscious person. Lupe Fiasco is like a fucking genius. I don't know. Like, he's been... During quarantine, he's been doing a lot of shit on Instagram Live. Like, he'll just go on Instagram Live and talk. And he'll, like, talk to other rappers and shit. And... stuff like that, and
he could have done that before quarantine too.
Yeah, but I think he's just bored. It's just so many people are just bored during quarantine.
Right. I don't even know what he's been doing for the last decade.
He's been dropping albums again. There was a moment in like early 2010s or whatever where he wasn't really doing anything, like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Yeah.
But he started dropping shit again. Tetsuo and Youth came out 2015 or some shit like that. But like since he dropped that, he's been dropping more consistently.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to check out this song. The song is called Shoes. We're going to see if it's as good as the stuff on Lasers.
I hate you.
Hey, we're back. We were just listening to Lupe Fiasco featuring Virgil Abloh. A song called Shoes.
So, what'd you think of that?
I've never understood the fascination with shoes. Especially like in recent years. You know how like people get obsessed with like Air Jordans and like...
I mean, that's been going on for decades.
But... Right. Well, I mean, recent years, I mean like, yeah, recent decades, I guess is what
basically since Jordans come out. And
right. But even before that though, like, like my Adidas. I don't know. I feel like hip hop culture in particular is really like tied into this whole fascination with shoes.
Well, I mean, hip-hop culture in general brought a whole fashion with it, and part of that fashion was, like, shoes was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so, that whole shoe culture kind of came with the hip-hop culture, and now the shoe culture is just, like, it's not even tied to hip-hop at this point. It's just, its own thing.
No, but, like, I mean, I feel like hip-hop really brought the shoe.
Yeah, like, definitely.
But that's one aspect that I've never truly gotten. I mean, and what am I wearing right now? I'm wearing sandals.
Yeah, I'm not a big shoe person either. I think I'm getting a little more into shoes. Not really into shoes, but I like kind of care a little more what my shoes look like.
I got like I think I got like the Kawhi Leonard style of shoes. He
don't know anything about sports.
I think he's a sponsor for like he is. I think he's a sponsor for New Balance or something like that. Like he always like sponsors the cheapest things. He still rides like a 1992 Toyota Tacoma or something like that.
You're definitely Kawhi Leonard.
And his favorite restaurant is Wingstop. But
okay. What about the track?
The track itself, it definitely took me back. I don't know how to feel about it, but it took me back to a time when like these kind of tracks were more in. But I feel like this track maybe try to be too I don't know if cerebral or conceptual about something. Half the track is just us listening to Virgil Abloh giving his best Steve Jobs kind of spiel about shoes. And, how, like, you got to think about the soul, not the soul, the soul. And, the shoes are what connect man to the ground. It gives us wings. And, very, very, I will say, flowery language to define a very practical item that you put on your feet. And
this man does not understand art. He's a fucking robot.
I think he should know by now how my thoughts are about feet. The people who are into feet in a more
like an
sensual manner. Feet to me are the most practical things about our body. I mean, I appreciate them, and I like walking as much as anybody. I encourage people walking. I like walking to the supermarket.
Okay, look, we're not even talking about the song at this point.
No,
I agree with what you said about the song. It's like too cerebral and kind of for its own good. But at first, that's what I was thinking. And the beat I like the beat, but it kind of like stays in the same mode for the whole thing. And this track's 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's pretty long. But so at first I'm like, oh, is this what it's going to be? But it actually like drew me in the longer I listened to it. And I'm like, got more interested because I didn't pick up on everything that they were talking about because it's pretty cerebral. But like, it seemed like they were using shoes and like designing shoes and new shoes as like a metaphor for like the plight of the black community and stuff. And like I was only picking up tidbits of it. So like it makes me want to listen to the song more to really understand what like Lupe's trying to say and like how he's using that metaphor.
Right. No, this is definitely the kind of song that like you like put on and you sit back and you listen to it, or like the kind of song that you would expect to find like I don't know like a gallery opening.
It feels like art, and it
gives me those vibes of like somebody who's in the know about like what's happening.
And if it's gonna be anybody, it's Lupe because I mean when I used like The Cool and Food and Liquor, I was a huge fan of his first two albums when I was young, like I mean high school around there, but like early high school really.
Right.
And but I know for a fact I didn't get it because like he's one of the best rappers ever. And like I listened to The Cool recently and I'm like all this shit that went over my head when I was a kid, like I got it. Like if you liked Lupe Fiasco when you were a kid, go back and listen to him again because there's shit that went over your head.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean he does seem to be kind of layered in his approach.
But it seems like even on this, like it's like he's leaning into that. Like he's just like, let me get more heady and like more poetic and artistic and stuff.
I get it. Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely, it brought me back to a particular time, like I was saying. Well, like, this is the kind of music that, like, people were into,
And the beat was kind of like a laid-back kind of jazzy beat. It kind of reminded me of a Chance the Rapper beat for, like...
I wouldn't go
It's like a beat that I think Chance the Rapper might use if he was trying to do like kind of like a laid back beat where he's trying to say something. I don't know. It kind of had that sound. Like I can't really name a song that Chance the Rapper done that sounds like it, but I can see him rapping on that track.
Yeah, but his rapping wouldn't even be. I don't know. Like
no, I mean it would be a completely different thing than what Lupe did with it. But for some reason, the sound of that track sounds like something he would use.
I get what you're saying, kind of, but only kind of.
I don't know. That's just what came to me. I don't know why.
Right. For some reason, I was thinking of like some of the like earlier Outkast albums as well.
I could see that maybe off of AT Aliens.
Yeah, like AT Aliens. Maybe even some of the more laid back songs on Aquemini.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. But it's a chill song. I don't know if you guys want to spend 7 minutes listening to Shoes.
Do it. Don't listen to him.
All right, we got one more song to go. This one's from a listener who requested this for us.
Yeah, this was a listener request on Twitter. This band is called Sweet Crude.
Like from the oil?
From Louisiana, from New Orleans.
There's a song called Porcupine. They just released an album just recently.
This year.
Let's listen to this. Hey, Sweet Crude. What'd you think of it?
I actually like that a lot. I thought it was really good.
A song called Porcupine. What'd you like about it?
It kind of had like a new wave vibe to me a little bit.
A little bit,
yeah. But kind of more updated for current times. I mean, there's a lot of people now doing like new wave kind of stuff and been doing that for a while.
Right.
But I like the sound of it a lot. It's kind of, the drums are like really pronounced and like really hard drums, and it had a nice groove to it. I like the synthesizer, kind of like, it was like the main thing throughout it was like this arpeggiated synthesizer.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fact that this song is in Creole.
I think it's in Creole.
I mean, I didn't understand any of it. I mean, I took several years of French and I still can't understand anything that's spoken in French. But other than that, like, at least from the vocals perspective, I wouldn't say there's any, like, I wouldn't write home about the vocals.
Yeah, the vocals aren't anything special. They're kind of shouty, kind of.
It just sounded like a, like, style wise, like a generic, like, indie pop singing style.
Yeah.
What would I even compare it to? I don't know. 2010 is just generic, like.
Yeah, the vocals didn't stand out, but I really liked the instrumental.
Yeah, I thought the instrumentals was cool. Something I really liked was the intro, but I feel like that wasn't. They didn't like they didn't visit that back again throughout the song. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the song was pretty cool. I would say. You don't hear too many things in Creole these days, so this is definitely got some value due to that.
Yeah.
And it's generally a nice song. I don't know.
Yeah, good recommendation from Twitter. Thank you. Keep recommending good shit. We'll listen to it and talk about it.
You don't remember who was that from?
No, but I'll put it on the video because I'm a bad person and I didn't remember who the person was. But I'll shout you out on the video. I'll put your little thing like somewhere, maybe here, maybe down here. I don't know. Whatever I decide to do in post-production.
Yeah, but if you got any recommendations for new music, let us know, and we'll do our best to include it in these segments that we're doing. And any other thoughts on like that song in particular, or the songs that we played today?
It's been a decent crop of songs. I like.
It's been a decent crop. Especially in the rap, there's been a lot of older people. Trying to maintain a career, back. Yeah, but yeah, good, yeah, decent pickings. Okay, well, next week we'll be coming back with another one of these new music segments. For now, though, you can keep in touch with what's been going on for us. You can subscribe.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that.
Ring that bell.
And leave a comment. Write us a letter. Tell your mother to listen to us. Tell your mother to tell your father, because you guys aren't on speaking terms. I know, so you gotta like have that intermediary. You can be on Instagram. Your parents are not gonna be there. At Blood on the Mic, and then on Twitter. Twitter at Blood on the Mic 1, and follow me at Torna Lewis. I think that's all the things. Yeah, that's all the things. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed these new music segments, and we're actually leaving the playlist for the July picks along with this. So hope you give it a listen through as well as we did. Cool. You sound like you're a Robert De Niro face. This is the face I got. Goodbye.